Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 14 of the Blues News podcast. Today, I'm here with Keenan Appiah-Forson, Southend midfielder. Firstly, Keenan, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. And yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Obviously, really excited to have you on. You're the first player that I've ever had on the podcast, which is obviously really exciting. I've done a few written interviews before, but never one face to face on a call like this. So obviously something new, but yeah, really excited to have you on. So if we just get straight into it, so how did you get into football?
I think my mum just placed a ball in my house when I was really young, and then she could see that I really enjoyed the game. And then I went to my first Sunday league team, which was Dads and Sports in Southeast London, and then from there, just been playing ever since.
Well, yeah, it's brilliant because there's so many people that love football, but obviously not everyone gets a chance to be a footballer. So it's obviously quite amazing to have that as your job if it's something that you love. So do you feel really lucky to be a footballer?
Yeah, lucky and blessed. Yes, it's a dream for me to be a footballer because I've always wanted to be a footballer. I personally believe it's the best job in the world. So just to be just to be a footballer is just an amazing feeling.
So for anybody who doesn't know watching the podcast, I believe you were at West Ham for about 8 years. So if we talk a little bit about your time there, so what was your time at West Ham like, and sort of what sort of things did you learn from your time there?
I enjoyed my time at West Ham, coming through the age groups from under 14s. Had to do a trial at under 14s, which took about 8 weeks. And then when I signed, I just got myself going up the ranks. So 14s, 16s, then 18s, then under 21s level. Managed to get a couple of appearances for the first team. So yeah, really enjoyed my time at West Ham.
So obviously, another really big thing in your career, and obviously something I'm sure you're really proud of, is that you've actually played 2 times in Europe for West Ham. So if we start with the first one in the Europa League against Zagreb, what was that like? I know you didn't play too much in that game, but what was it like coming off the bench, obviously as a young player?
Even the night before, I remember I was just quite nervous. Like I wasn't really expecting to come on, but I was just dreaming and believing. And then we got to the meeting beforehand, and then I see my name in the squad, and then yeah, I just got excited. And then watching the game from the bench, obviously we lost 1-0, but I thought we didn't do too bad. And then when Moisey said, I think he just waved a finger at me, and then I just went up there, and then yeah, could hear the crowd, and then yeah, it was just an exciting moment for me.
Do you not? Were you like really nervous to come on, or was it more of a case of the crowd and you just sort of thrive in those sort of moments, or were you feeling the nerves?
I'm not sure if I was nervous, but I definitely had a little feeling in my stomach. But I wouldn't say it was nerves. I think it was just excitement and just adrenaline, I guess. Yeah.
Well, obviously, I mentioned it before, but you've actually played in Europe twice because you also played in the Conference League with West Ham literally just the next year. So, if we talk a little bit about that, obviously, the first one was at West Ham's stadium at home, and the second one was actually in Romania, I believe, in the Conference League against FCSB. So, what was that like?
The experience altogether was amazing. Obviously, probably my second or third time flying with the team um, to an away game because I went to a couple of away games, one against Celtic, which was in pre-season about 2-3 years ago. But yeah, flying with the team and then went to a lovely hotel in Romania. And then yeah, I think I got about 20-25 minutes with the first team that day, and obviously they went on to win the competition. So yeah, it was a really good experience for me.
Well, we'll definitely get on to Southend in a minute because I'm sure some people are listening thinking, oh, I thought this was a Southend podcast. We're talking about West Ham, but obviously
Yeah.
a huge club in your career. So, in that West Ham team, some incredible players. Who do you think stands out to you as probably one of the best players you've played with in your career?
Um, I probably have a couple. I don't think I can just say one.
Okay.
I'll say 𝗔𝗣𝗣𝗜𝗓 because he was when I used to train. When I used to train with the first team, I would say he was like quite clinical. He's quite fast, and yeah, he just takes his chances in training. And then I would say as a midfielder, 𝗘𝗑𝗙𝗢𝗥, sorry. Like his technique, you can just see that he's just comfortable on the ball. He can play passes short, medium, or long, and his finishing is a joke. Then another one I'd say is probably Lanzini. He's quite small like me, but I think I'm a bit smaller. But Lanzini, yeah, he's just quick on the ball, agile, and he can create goals. So yeah, I'll say them three.
Some brilliant players, and obviously I imagine it's probably quite surreal for you seeing players that you've played with throughout your career, and now seeing sort of things that Rice is doing, and obviously now Arsenal playing in Champions League football and stuff. So it's pretty quite special to sort of see players that you've played with now doing brilliant things. So obviously another club that you played for. One that I'm sure many Southend fans won't be mentioning too much on the podcast, but obviously you were at Dagenham before. So I think it's really interesting because obviously another National League club in Dagenham. So how do you think your experiences with Dagenham, obviously not too long, but your time at Dagenham and sort of your experience with the National League, how do you think that will help you coming into obviously another National League side in Southend?
Yeah, so I'll say joining Dagenham has really helped me. I can say now that I've got the experience to experience the National League, which is just boost my confidence to join another National League club and just to carry on doing what I'm doing, and just to keep going, keep working hard. And yeah, now I'm familiar with the league. I can just show what I'm about.
Yeah, well, I think you certainly done that. With Southend, we'll get onto it in a bit, but obviously the Solihull game and really solid performances from yourself. I think you've been my man of the match in quite a few of those games. So we'll talk about Southend now. So, firstly, what made you come and play for Southend? What sort of was the reasoning behind that?
Firstly, I thought well, I didn't think when I did play Southend when I was at Dagenham, I could see like the crowd was just rocking, and that's probably the only game I felt like, wow, this is like a real football match. So yeah, I would say the first reason is probably the crowd. Second reason, I'll say the coaching staff. Um, I feel like they suit me with the way I play. So yeah, I'll say the coaching staff, and then obviously I didn't sign straight away. I think I trained with the team twice before signing, so I was really enjoying the training sessions and yeah, just the way we play. So yeah, that made me want to join.
I think when you hear a lot of people who have joined Southend, I think one of pretty much the main thing that they all say is about the fans. So it's funny that you mentioned that because, yeah, I agree. I think there's such a pulling factor for players into the club when you have a fan base like Southend who are so dedicated and turn up in numbers every single week. So yeah, it's definitely interesting that you mentioned the fans because I've seen all the signings that we've made pretty much have said the same thing.
Yeah.
So about the Solihull game, obviously I was there, and I mean what a day that was to start with. But obviously, what a day for you as well. So it was your first start and your first goal. How did that feel?
I think you could see in my celebration that I just jumped and punched the air. It meant a lot to me. To obviously start the game, thanking the manager, and then just to take my opportunity and manage to get myself a goal. So yeah, it's a moment that I'll never forget.
Well, definitely, yeah. And you've had some brilliant performances since as well. So, as with the season as a whole, what games are you looking forward to most this season? Are there any that stick out to you and you think I can't wait to play them? Maybe Dagenham. I don't know.
Yeah, you could say Dagenham, because they're local. We'd have to travel too far.
Yeah.
But a game that I'm looking forward to playing, I would say, mm, I'm not sure. Maybe Gateshead again
What, the
because
away fixture? You're
yeah,
excited to go all the way up to Gateshead? fair enough. Definitely a
Um,
long trip.
I wouldn't say I'm excited for the journey. It's just that obviously losing at home ain't a nice
Yeah,
feeling. So
no.
I just wanna make sure we've been away at least. So I'll say that's one game we're looking forward to.
So you think there's a sort of a sense of wanting vengeance against Gateshead, maybe go up
Yeah,
to their place and get a win? That would be very nice. So,
yeah.
what since you've joined Southend, what's been, obviously we've spoken about the fans being one of the things that you love the most, but what do you think have been some other things that you've loved the most about playing for Southend so far?
Um, I would say the standard in training is quite high, and there's lots of competition, which just helps me be a better trainer, I suppose. Yeah, just training hard every day, and just trying to better myself as a person and on the pitch as well. So yeah, I'll say the people around me is really good for me.
Well, yeah, and I think with Southend of all clubs as well, there definitely seems like that. In the past few years, anyway, sort of the glue of the team has been how close all the players are, and obviously the dressing room feel, and obviously the management. So, how do you think? Do you think there is a really tight knit sort of community within the players?
Yeah, it's also got leaders in the squad as well. So if anything happens, there's always someone you can go to. I'll say everyone's quite close together. So yeah, which really helps around the dressing room. And obviously, some of us are quite new, so it's gonna take time for us to gel together, but we'll get there in the end, and then you'll see through our performances.
Certainly, yeah, I definitely think it will just take a bit of time to gel, but that's natural. Yeah, we see. I mean, with Chelsea as well, a bit random, but Chelsea, just an example of a team that took quite a while to gel because of all new players coming in, and now they're starting to gel. So it definitely could take a while for clubs, but obviously a game coming up is this weekend is the Eastleigh game in the FA Cup. So how are you feeling ahead of the FA Cup fixture?
I'm excited because this is actually going to be my first game in the FA Cup if I do play, obviously. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I just can't wait. I just can't wait. Yeah.
Do you think it means a lot to the players, the FA Cup?
Yeah. Of course, it's every team's in that competition. So yeah, to the players, it must mean a lot, especially to me, anyways.
Well, I can see you smiling, probably thinking about all the teams that you could play in that, and it's not unrealistic either because we've seen teams like Maidstone go on the run they did and play some of the teams they did. So it's definitely possible. So does that excite you, the prospect of sort of playing some really big clubs in the FA Cup?
Yeah, yeah, but obviously we gotta go one game at a time.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can beat Eastleigh on the weekend, and then yeah, we'll just see how our journey goes from there.
It's probably the inner fan of me coming out, getting a bit ahead of myself, thinking about all the teams that we could be playing the FA Cups, dreaming of all the away games. But, but yeah, certainly we'll see what happens with the Eastleigh game. So, if you had to, this is quite an interesting one actually. I'll be interested to see who you say. It's probably quite a difficult one again, but if you had to compare your style of play to sort of one player in terms of style, who would you compare it to and why?
You know what? I used to get compared to Kante a lot, coming
Oh,
through West Ham. So I would say that's one player I'd compare myself to, and he's a very good player. So, and he's someone that I idolize in a way.
well, that's funny you said that because my next question was literally uh, who who was your football role model growing up?
Oh, I feel like Ronaldinho made me fall in love with football, with his skills and him obviously having the long ponytail. And yeah, I'll say Ronaldinho, but Ronaldinho and Messi. Sorry, yeah, because Messi my favorite footballer.
Wait, certainly not bad choices there, Ronaldinho and Messi. So this is quite an interesting one. Obviously, again, I'll be interested to see what you say. So, if you weren't a footballer, you've probably heard this one before, but if you weren't a footballer, what do you think you'd be? Obviously, kind of hard for you because you've probably only ever wanted to be a footballer. But was there a time you sort of considered another career path?
I don't think I've ever considered another career path. I've just always wanted to be a footballer, So if I was to be something, I'm not sure. I would say in school I was quite good at maths, so something to do with maths, probably.
Okay, well, definitely the opposite of me then, because I am absolutely hopeless at maths. so we've got a little section just towards the end, really. So we've got a bit of quick fire. So I did this before with Josh Walker, and it was really interesting. So basically, I'm going to ask a bunch of just quick fire questions. You can say a name from the team of Southend, and sort of just give a little bit of reasoning behind each one. So, firstly, who do you think is the funniest teammate?
The funniest teammate. I'd probably say Gus. Yeah, he's quite funny. He's quite an energetic personality. That's what he's got. So, and yeah, he likes making jokes. So I'll probably say Gus.
Well, I heard somebody say 𝗔𝗣𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 the other day, so I was maybe thinking you might say George.
Oh, I'll say it's out of them two actually, because
Okay,
Monks is quite funny. Yeah, he's
but
got.
but we're going with Gus.
Yeah, we'll go with Gus.
Okay, so who do you think is the most competitive? Obviously, all footballers, so probably all quite competitive. But who do you think is the most competitive?
Competitive. I'll probably say the skipper, Ralphie, because small-sided games that he doesn't want to lose, and you can see that. So I'll say he's the most competitive, especially the way he plays and how he slide tackles people. So yeah, I'll probably say Ralphie.
Okay, well, obviously with the darts yesterday, I was maybe thinking that you might say Bridge or Gus. Obviously, getting to the final, the pair. So
Okay, yeah. I was reading. Did Bridgie win that? Yeah. So
yeah, Bridge did win.
yeah.
I think
Okay.
they were the two favourites going into it. I don't know if you've ever played darts with them, but I think they were the two favourites going into it. I think maybe Gus just edged it going in, but yeah, Bridge came out on top. So
Yeah, I'm not really into darts. I don't really play darts. I'm just not good at darts. But I'm most likely on the pool table. Yeah.
on the pool. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, well, maybe I'll mention it's Chris Phillips. Maybe we could get a charity pool night. We'll see if see if you win that.
Maybe.
So obviously, you might say yourself for this one, but maybe excluding yourself, who do you think is the best dressed?
The best dressed. I don't really be looking at the way people dress.
It's a difficult one.
No, I'm gonna say Colin because he's always onto my dressing for some reason. So I'm gonna say
Okay.
Colin. I'll just give
Oh
it to
yeah,
Colin.
good choice. Good choice. Who do you think? This is probably quite a difficult one as well. It's a bit similar to the most competitive because obviously you're all football players, so there's always going to be a level of hard work and competitive nature. But who do you think is the hardest worker in the team?
The hardest worker. I'll probably say Windy. Because he's always doing extras, doing extra crossing. He's always doing extra, just training. So I'll probably say Windy. Yeah.
All right, well that's definitely interesting because obviously we haven't seen too much from him yet, but
Mm-hmm.
obviously it'll be interesting to see how he progresses. I know he did brilliantly with 𝗘𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏, so yeah, it'll be interesting. Interesting, definitely. So, um, best music taste is next. So, who do you think has got the best music taste in the squad?
Best music taste.
That's the difficult one
I
because
only,
you sort of
yeah,
want to
I
say
only,
yourself, but
I'll have to give it to myself, but no one really is on the music. I think Gus is on the music in the change room and in the gym, so I don't really hear everyone else's music, but I don't think you can go wrong with my music personally.
okay. Who's your favorite artist?
Right now, it's a Nigerian artist called 𝗘𝗑𝗏𝗏𝗏. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So this is probably a tricky one again. I mean, they're all relatively tricky, but with this one, most intelligent. You said earlier that you were good at maths. Do you think you're the most intelligent?
That's the only thing I'm good at. I'm not really good at other things, so I wouldn't give myself most intelligent. Most intelligent. I'm not sure. That's quite a tricky one. I'm not sure I can name for that one. Uh,
Well, I'll give you an even harder one next, if you want to think about that one.
yeah, I might have to
Who,
pick that one.
who do you think is the teammate who is most likely to be famous for something other than football? Do you reckon it's maybe Bridge as a darts player, or
Yeah, it has to be Bridge since he won the darts tournament. So I would have to give it to him. Maybe he can have a career in darts.
fair enough? Do you think there's anybody else who could be famous for something that might shock us a little bit?
Famous in what though?
Just anything, really. Don't know, it's quite a tricky one, but
Yeah, that's a tricky question. I'm not sure about that question as well. Sorry.
fair enough. Well, that is the quick fire over. So I hope you enjoy that little quick fire. It's quite tricky, some of them, but some of them may be easier than others, such as funniest. That's probably one of the easier ones. Most people who don't even know him would probably say Gus just for those celebrations alone. So, so yeah, obviously a big game coming up on Saturday. Are you hoping for a goal on Saturday?
I just hope I play well. Just
Yep.
ease myself into the game, and if the time's right and I do score, then hopefully I can get a goal. But yeah, just mainly focus on winning. And if I could set someone up or go on the score sheet, that would be a bonus. So yeah.
Perfect. Well, I think really there's only one thing left to ask, and it's a question that I'll ask everyone who comes on. You maybe know what's coming, but who do you think I should Q&A next?
He's like, probably Bim. Probably Bim. Yeah, I feel like he's a interesting character. So maybe
Okay.
Bim. Yeah.
That definitely interested, and also sort of keeping on the new signing theme. So,
Yeah.
well, to wrap it up, welcome to Southend. I hope you're obviously enjoying your time here, and I know the fans are certainly enjoying your time here so far. So, yeah, it was brilliant to have you on. I really appreciate you giving your time to come on today. So, do you want to say anything before I end it?
No worries. Cheers, thank you, and yeah, I'm happy to be the first player on your podcast. So, yeah.
I know, yeah, it's really exciting to us, and sort of relatively nervy as well. But it was quite exciting, obviously, having my first player on, because I've had some really amazing guests on, but to have your first player on is always quite a special thing for the podcast. So yeah, I really appreciate you coming on. So if anyone has enjoyed, please make sure to like and subscribe. And I'll see you all on the next one.